All right, to get us thinking, we have our Jamboard with our introduction question, because I know you guys have read the introduction, which she talks about this being a love story and how we enjoy a love of reading ourselves. We've found that joy along the way, and how can we um, encompass that when we teach our students. So you'll click this link um, in the presentation and answer the Book Love Jam board for how you are currently cultivating a love of reading among students, and just sign your name to it. It can be first name, could be first and last name, whatever is easier for you. Just add a post-it and just, what are you doing right now? Give some people some ideas. You don't have to respond to someone unless you want to. It's just meant to be quick. But we'll have to open up, because this is obviously a video. They changed it. You can't download the audio or export the audio anymore, because that's a upgrade thing. So once you're done with this, just go back and answer the question, and I'll also post this Jamboard in the introduction page so that you can remember to go and post that with your name as well. So, I kind of talked a little bit about this already, sharing your journey as a reader, but it's changed over time. If you hated reading in college, why was that? Maybe because you got tired of all the academic reading and you didn't have any time to read books for fun. So I talk about, I read a lot of thrillers and dark things, just because I don't like necessarily watching super dark things on TV, because the goriness and the blood and guts kind of gets to me and sticks in my head, and then I can't sleep at night. But I like reading about it because my imagination can make it seem a little less bloody than what I'm seeing on TV. I discovered my love of audiobooks several years ago. I moved in the middle of the school year and was driving about an hour and 15 minutes in good traffic to and from work every day. And I hate driving. So I got into audiobooks that I got from the library. And, as teachers, you guys can use our digital library in the portal as well. We have tons of audiobooks. We have some adult audiobooks too, because as a teacher, you have access to all grade levels. So you can check out a picture book to share with your students on the screen and read to them if you're talking about a certain theme or you want them to analyze characterization. You can also read middle grade books and YA books, and we have some adult books for our seniors and our advanced readers. So I've listened to a lot of memoirs, because that's easier for me to follow when I drive. I don't have a long commute now, so I listen to audiobooks on the weekends or when I'm tired at night and just can't do any more physical reading with words on a page. And what's great about audiobooks is that they are professional voice actors. So sometimes the author will read it. Viola Davis just won a Grammy for her narration of her memoir, Finding Me. But she's a professional actress. So a lot of memoirs, if they're read by the author, they've been trained in how to do that. So highly recommend a good audiobook. It's a little longer than a podcast. And then true stories. So what are you currently looking for in books? I'm always looking for good memoirs. I want to learn more about people and things around me. We can obviously do that through fiction, but I'm always trying to increase my nonfiction and see what books are out there that I'd be interested in. All right, so I love this quote that Penny Kittle mentions in the book by author Kate DiCamillo. Reading should not be presented to a child as a chore, a duty. It should be offered as a gift. I think this is really important when we're talking about struggling readers and readers who are like, they come into the classroom and they say, nothing in here interests me, or nothing in the library interests me. And all of the libraries in Mesquite IC are genrefied. So if you like realistic fiction, go to that section. If you like adventure, go to that section. There really is something for everyone. We just have to work together to find books that students want to read. We want to find kids sneaking reading under their desk during a lesson, even though we have to tell them to put their book up, instead of finding them scrolling through Instagram. That would be a great cultural shift. All right, so this is something I want to talk about briefly. I get a lot of questions about this when I share what I did for my timetable, because I was double blocked. So I know a lot of us are not double blocked, but you could do it in a 2-part lesson, for one part one day, one part another day. So she had 80 minutes and I had about 92 minutes with our passing period in between. And so welcoming students, doing a book talk. If you get burnout on book talks, you can show one from YouTube. There are a lot of short ones out there, a lot of good librarians. You can even show some from TikTok, and you can download it and post it on your Google Classroom. And after you do the welcome, say, I want everybody to go click this video and we're going to watch the book talk, or pick one, post 5 for the week, pick one that you're interested in watching today and watch a different one tomorrow. And then giving them that time to read. I always did my read aloud first before I did individual reading time, because I wanted students to get used to the idea that they were into the book that we were reading as a class, and then we could discuss it, do our quick write, and then we had individual SSR time. I later switched it when I had some rowdy afternoon classes, because I know we never have rowdy kids, but sometimes we do. I would start with silent time, silent reading, and then we would go into our read aloud book. So from the minute the bell rang, I would stand there and wait, and they got used to being silent, books in their hand. I would go around and read for a few minutes to get them used to that, and then I would conference with them. And she talks about conferencing in here. And then the importance of having a mentor text, which most of our curriculum provides, and then drafting what we're reading about should be very often what we are writing about. And then there's time to craft a writing and then a closure. So this is kind of the model I used. I tweaked it for myself, like I said, because that rowdy class in the afternoon, I was like, I'm going to try coming in, and when the bell rings, they have to be silent. And I was double blocked, so I used they had a 5-minute, because it was in high school, a 5-minute passing period as a reward, that if they didn't get 3 strikes on the board, and one of those being we come in, we sit and we read for 15, 20 minutes, that they could go to the bathroom, or they could go talk to their friend, or, I need so-and-so to pick me up, and then they could come back to class before the bell rang, because we took attendance both times, so tardies still counted. So if you're at all interested in this, I can type up my agenda. I can show you how I did it. I just think she's kind of the expert, and she's that's why we're reading her book on this. And so I'm always hesitant to be like, well, this is how I did it. But like, you can modify this for however you see fit. You could do a welcome and agenda over part 1 with a book talk, with a read aloud, with reading time, and then come back the next day and start it with your mentor text. That is totally fine, and that is a great option if you want. You have that option to do that.